Hello, and welcome to the Gaia update for the Virgo Full Moon that's happening on Saturday, February 27th. I'm Adrienne Elise. Well, this Virgo Full Moon is quite a turning point coming on the heels of this Mercury retrograde in Aquarius. We've had a crazy stellium of planets in Aquarius activating vibrational energies that we have no idea what to do with because we're still stuck in the Pisean Age. But things are really shifting right now, so it's going to be interesting to see. And this Virgo full moon, very big turning point. Virgo wants to clean things up, purification, sort through the rubble, and separate the wheat from the chaff. So pretty powerful to have a Virgo full moon right on the end of this whole month of February, which has been highlighted by the Aquarian stellium, the greater conjunction in Aquarius, and Jupiter in square to Black Moon Lilith. So we've had so many squares with Aquarius and Taurus, and here for the whole month of February, we felt Jupiter in square to Black Moon Lilith. Now Jupiter wants to open the door and bring the light and expand whatever it comes near. So with Black Moon Lilith, though, we're talking about the deepest, darkest recesses of our psyche. Black Moon Lilith in Taurus, it's about our self-worth and about programmed shame. And so this has just been so huge with all of these planets in these signs. Now, these are fixed signs and so kind of stubborn. And we're coming up in squares are also stubborn. It's like you can't go that way anymore. And fixed energies have a tendency to get stuck where they're at, where they're very solid on some level psychically, but then also, we can get into those fixed ideas and thoughts, and we've got to get out of this old programming. And so that this February 2021 has been like a deep excavation. Now, what are we going to find? What is going to be revealed? And with Mercury now direct after this last weekend, we're on the edge of our seats, ready. Because Mercury retrograde in Aquarius is kind of like, what is keeping us from moving into the Aquarian Age? And all of these transits are saying, what's really keeping us is this feeling of whether or not we deserve it, which is crazy, right? But deep, deep programming in our psyche, especially for the advanced soul, going all the way back to Atlantean time. And this is a huge activation that's happening right now because in addition to Mercury turning direct, moving into new territory, Jupiter square Black Moon Lilith finally coming off, Neptune coming out of its square with the nodes of the moon that started back. We started feeling that in October. So this whole, it's kind of encouraging in a way, like, okay, yeah, because shit's been really weird. I mean, all of 2020, right? I mean, this whole life, this whole evolution is just weird, but particularly this last time where up is down and in is out, and what in the hell's going on in this reality? And that is exactly the energy of Neptune square the nodes. So just now today, that influence is starting to come off. Neptune is moving to 20 degrees. So it made it to 20 last year. But it's very close to 21 and moving into new territory. So Neptune moving into new territory, it's about time to get out of the old movie of the Pisean Age. And this is exactly what it would fit. It would make sense that Jupiter square Black Moon Lilith was excavating. It kind of makes me think of the darkest recesses, of our society, these truths that the whole world is trying to hold back, but not going to happen. The floodgates are coming in. The light is coming in. The truth will be revealed. And so now we wait and we see and we look at this, what's being revealed within us personally, that where we've been. So right now, leading up to this full moon, Venus is square Mars in Aquarius and Taurus. And it's like, this is our inner division, our inner hatred, our inner war, where we've gotten so lost in duality consciousness that we can't figure out what's our voice and what's God's voice and what's our false voice and what's programming. And that's exactly it. This low self-worth garbage is programming. It's not real. It's not true. And it's about time for us to get into our heart and into our truth. And this is the excavation for the supernova soul. And this is the great cleansing of this Virgo full moon. Now, the shift of all of these planets and energies together is a great cleansing and making way for miracles. Because the Virgo full moon is, the full moon always happens, when the sun and moon are opposite of each other. And Venus is moving into Pisces just this day before the full moon. So Venus is at play, moving from Aquarius to Pisces, and it's about dreaming a new dream of the feminine and getting out of the old movie of the program shame. Because where we carry this deep, dark shame and low self-worth and all that, it's typically for the supernova soul, advanced soul, associated with our feminine side. We're all masculine, feminine side. We've all had lifetimes in male and female bodies. This is just part of the game we're playing here. But our intuition, our empathy, our compassion, that's what's been demonized, and that is associated with the feminine side. And so we got to clean it up. And really powerful, because right around the equinox, Venus will finally catch up to the sun after that retrograde that started last June. June, we started moving into that Venus retrograde in Gemini. So now Venus is finally catching back up to the sun. And the sun is, who do we think we are? So this is this purification, the spiritualized feminine, this great mother. It's like we can't move into this new mother, this 5D earth, while we're carrying the archetype of the dark feminine, the distorted feminine, the sick feminine, in that deep gutter place of low self-worth, It's time to pick her up, put her back on her throne, and get on with it, right? So this is this energy, and the backdrop of this full moon has to do with Venus or Saturn. The greater conjunction planets, Saturn and Jupiter, they've separated out, but the kind of symbol gong going off here of the reverberation of this greater conjunction that happened on the solstice between Saturn and Jupiter. They both have squares with Uranus. And so January, Jupiter had its square with Uranus, and now Saturn is in square with Uranus at 7 degrees. And that is through the middle of this week, exact, very powerful, because they're more outer planets, the edge of our reality. Saturn we can see, Uranus just beyond, but we're talking about the old guard and the new way, and in Aquarius, the new way wins, right? Saturn and Aquarius, but square up with Uranus and Taurus, so it's saying what's keeping us in the old way is exactly this whole thing we're working on, this deep, dark, programmed shame, the vermin, the worm. It's interesting that humanity's been so programmed with this, especially advanced souls, and yet that's kind of like metaphorically what we're dealing with, like our controllers that we've given our power over to. They're worms. I mean, that's closer to a description of the reptilian, extraterrestrial, distorted, hybrid controllers, right? We are human souls in a body. Access to God consciousness within us, that makes us the most powerful beings. And why? Why would these other entities go through so much to separate us from our soul essence and our power? Because they don't have their own source. So it's really interesting, because when we go into the depths of the human psyche with this shame programming, what you're going to find is ultimately authority contracts where you gave your power away. And you never would have given your power away if you weren't scared of your own potential. So this is this huge energy we're coming, and it goes back to that Venus square Mars, this inner division where you may have been self-sabotaging. We all have been blocking the support and the good things that want to come into our life because we don't feel worthy and we don't deserve, even though that, energy is deep in the subconscious. Be like, well, I love myself. I can receive. I can, but it's like, no, everything's blocked, every doorway. And what is this about? What can we do about this? Where within us have we bought into the lowly worm, vibration? I mean, maybe there's this truth to it because when we go supernova and grow wings, then, a worm has its place, So this is exactly the time we're in right now. And it's interesting because now we are less than a month away from the spring equinox, and Venus will be going over the vernal equinox, the Aries point, 0 degrees Aries, the beginning of the zodiac, the rebirth. Venus will be there with the sun. So here we are. This is this next chapter. It's a rebirth, a renewal, a great cleansing. But why, right? We get so focused on what we're fighting, what we're going up against, and the attack and this bloom of just control energies we've been dealing with, but we lose sight. It's all to distract us from the whole point. And that's this God consciousness we have access to. And we are this great awakening, this great cleanse. It's our cleansing that we're receiving back to the true, purified soul essence that we came in with as supernova souls into this earth evolution. You came in as a full initiate and you bought in and took on the garbage, but that's not who you are. And this is a huge energy of this Taurus activation. It's like figuring out, now you are sovereign. Now your gift, the rewards coming to you for all of your spiritual work you've done, never giving up, coming back again and again. And now you're here and you're seeing who you are and the benefit. You get to reap the rewards of all the hard work you've done. And that's not about a battle with the dark. It's about a celebration of the light. So we cannot get into the new in this age of miracles until we let go of the old. Now, this is a big question coming up for a lot of people of this, what's keeping us, right? And this is this whole Mercury retrograde. What's keeping us from moving into the new age? Come on. I thought we were going somewhere. I thought this Aquarian Age thing was real. Maybe it's just an illusion. That's this Neptune square the nodes energy of doubt and energy of failure and kind of disillusionment and feeling like you want to just give up, right? But we have to come back to that place of why we even bothered coming here. And these gifts that you have, that you've managed to hold on to, and now you get to bloom into this light body, which is a purification. So that's kind of a cool energy. Maybe that'll come up in this Virgo full moon activation, light body activation, because the association of this releasing all of these stories of all that we've been told, humanity, about how dirty and shameful and wormy we are, and the parasite and worthless bottom feeders, right? And when that's cleansed away, that's the necessary place towards the activation of the light body. So that's an interesting energy, because coming into this full moon, it's this energy of this great cleansing. We thought it was a great awakening, but we can't get to the awakening part till we do the cleansing part. But just on the other side of that, it's like, oh yeah, wait a minute. What was the point of all this? What is the point of all this? And that is the miracle that you are awake for. You freaking made it. Look, you are here. Your body, you are conscious of yourself as a particle of God. So does it make sense for us to live in this place of barely making it through, like fighting for our life essence, fighting for what we need to survive? That does not fit who we are anymore. And this is the big shift for SuperNova Souls in 2021. January, about figuring out who you are in this incredibly potent role you have here to play, and this beautiful reward, the gift of all the hard work you've done in being able to step back into your throne, step into that place of authority in your sovereignty as a soul with access to God consciousness, and begin to celebrate this. But this whole Aquarius Taurus squares is about, okay, so now you have a sense of who you are in your power and what you're here for and what this, your sovereignty. But the next part of the chapter is about honoring who you are. And that's exactly the deep core issues of Taurus, like self-worth, self-love, and staying down in the gutter is not honoring the preciousness of who you are in your spiritual light, and you made it. So let's get up together. Let's stand up and claim back. Claiming back the sovereignty is claiming back our life force and claiming back support for spiritual light on this planet. We can't do this old game anymore. And this is exactly the energy of Neptune coming out of that square with the nodes. It's like that bad, scary movie, that bad nightmare that you don't realize is a nightmare until you wake up out of it. And I guess that's where the masses are right now. But luckily we're here to pave the way for miracles. Are you ready? Could you let some miracles into your life this next month? This rebirth, this spring equinox in the Northern Hemisphere? Can you go back to the whole reason why you ever bothered here, and can you believe you made it? And whoa. The place, the 5D energy that we're moving into is outside of time. And so it's like, we got to get out of this whole well, someday, and maybe it'll be different and all that, right? And this is part of taking hold of our power and our sovereignty and saying, right now, I am connected to my source, the light. I made it. I'm here. I'm going to make it through this. And an exalted celebration. So, because March is very different energy, we will be Mercury coming out of that retrograde shadow, and Jupiter coming off of the Black Moon Lilith, and then Mercury is coming into its last conjunction with Jupiter. So very powerful, because now Mercury direct and Jupiter conjunct is saying, oh, this is what's going on. This is what we're doing. This is what this is about, right? You can't sort out the movie while you're still not seeing it's a movie. And now we're going to step back and make way for miracles. Right here, right now, in each moment that you can grab a hold of the mystical spiritual revelation that is what and who you are and why you even bothered coming here. And let's get on with it. So I hope that you will consider joining me for this light body activation, apparently. The full moon, Virgo full moon activation on Friday, noon, Mountain Time in the US. And I look forward to seeing you there or on the next update. You're doing it, SuperNova Soul. Just be present with the light that you are and be the miracle in that moment. And why not right now? So I look forward to seeing you soon. Until then, I'm Adrienne Elise. Namaste.